Enjoyed Wrestlers of the Week last week, Jack?
Thank you, Tom.
Except one thing.
Oh, what was that then?
Forgot about Keith.
I did forget about Keith despite many warnings throughout the week in the form of song.
Indeed.
I'm so sorry.
You know what? It's all right. You are the professional when it comes to Wrestlers of the Week, and I am... No, you are.
Okay.
I am adamant that you won't forget about Keith. No, for the next one.
No, and I'll remedy the situation on Friday. It'll be all right.
Thanks, mate.
It's all right.
News. What happened after WWE Raw went off the air? NXT beat AEW in the ratings. And we have the original plans for the New Day. We'll get to that very soon. Rather humdrum episode of Monday Night Raw last night, sir.
Yes, apart from a man being arrested, not a lot actually happened.
NASCAR man won a belt.
NASCAR man did win a belt, the 24/7 championship, and the referee, as pointed out on Reddit Squared Circle, unveiled his referee shirt in such a seductive manner. It was quite something. You kind of go, oh, what's this under here? It's a referee shirt.
Do you not hate that when you're trying to seduce someone? They reveal a referee shirt and then try and pin you for your belt.
Yes.
Terrible times. But Becky Lynch was conspicuous by her absence, on TV at least, on Monday Night Raw.
Yes.
But when the cameras went off, it was something slightly different.
She had a match with Kairi Sane, which is a great matchup. They wrestled before and it's gone really well, so I would have been tempted to maybe put this one on the actual Raw.
Yeah,
But at the same time,
I know that she was involved in some handicap match shenanigans.
Kyrie was earlier on in the
was,
night,
yeah.
yes. But at the same time, I think it was still nice to see Becky is still around. She hasn't yet appeared on WWE TV since Survivor Series, actually, where, of course, she lost in the main event to Shayna Baszler, but stood tall at the end there. That's awful. Shouldn't do that. I'm so sorry.
She did have a little chat with WWE.com afterwards, didn't she? Download this.
She did one of those web exclusive interviews where she talked about, basically echoed her sentiments from social media over the past week or so, where she said, I'm the Raw Women's Champion, I shouldn't be, as she said on Twitter, in the tag division, which, makes a lot of sense. I don't know how much of this is her real life frustration or how much of it is just playing into her character, because quite often the lines are blurred when it comes to Becky Lynch. She does seem to carry a lot of that confidence into her real life persona, which is great, but it's hard to tell how much of this is her actual thoughts on the matter.
Yeah.
I'd suggest maybe it's a legitimate gripe, but I don't know.
The tweet she put out the other week, which we talked about here on the news anyway, where she was upset about being in the tag division.
Yes.
I think it does feel like there's a little bit of fantasy and reality blurring a little bit there. She hasn't defended the belt in 2 months.
Yeah, not since that Hell in a Cell match with Sasha Banks.
Is there not the rule that says if you don't defend the belt within a month, then you have to forfeit it?
Sometimes.
Unless your name begins with B and ends with Brock Lesnar.
That's him.
In which case, it's fine.
They hold it up in some promotions. John Moxley had to vacate his New Japan belt because of the typhoon, and he couldn't fly over there.
Oh, they're really tough on the vacation thing, aren't they, over there? Not as in going on holiday, but as in vacating a belt. But the plan, it seems, in terms of if you base it on local advertising for TLC, which is next Sunday.
Oh, it's so soon.
They've done well again.
They've not announced any matches yet.
No, one of the matches announced locally, though, is the Kabuki Warriors defending the WWE Women's Tag Team titles against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, which should be a belter in a TLC match.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be a
that's
great
what they
match.
do.
Hopefully they do. I wouldn't be disappointed in that, but I would like to know what's going on.
I'd like some
sooner.
build.
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit, but
Starrcade got more build.
Oh,
that's a worry, innit? That's a worry, innit? So a bit later than normal as a result of Thanksgiving, whilst America was doing a Christmas dress rehearsal, eating too much turkey and buying a flat screen TV for 9p in the Black Friday sales, we now do have the ratings for Wednesday night. Here is Jack with said ratings.
The ratings are from Showbuzz Daily, that's where we've got these figures from. So NXT averaged 810,000 viewers for its November 27th show, which is a 12% drop actually from the previous week's 916,000 average. Now, a lot of that may be down to the fact that this week it was obviously last week. It was obviously when these more recent ratings have come out, it was Thanksgiving. People might not have been watching wrestling. They might have been travelling home for Thanksgiving. They might have been hanging out with their families and stuff.
Like John Candy and Steve Martin in Planes, Trains and Automobiles. They were trying to get home for Thanksgiving. Was it all Christmas? It was
I've never seen it.
I know. They didn't have time to watch it.
And the other thing I'm thinking of as well is this could just be a natural lull after the high that was the fallout of TakeOver War Games and Survivor Series and all the build and everything surrounding that. And now that we're out of that little period, maybe this is also just a little bit of a dip because it was exciting times and now those times are slightly over.
In the main demographic, though, it was still a good result for AEW.
Yes, well, they took quite a fall as well. Now, AEW actually lost this week, which might be a surprise to many because this wasn't the sort of situation as it was when they first beat AEW, when they'd thrown like AJ Styles in there and Rollins and everything. This was much more of a standard show, I believe. Was it? Yes, it was.
It was, yeah. It was kind of off the back of them winning Survivor Series. There was obviously going to be some new eyes, in theory, on what they were doing.
Yes. So AEW took quite a fall, down to 663,000 viewers, a 26% drop from last week's average. But again, it's Thanksgiving. You know, it's no coincidence that both shows have suffered this dip. But yeah, as you were mentioning, the demographic is still looking all right for AEW. They continue to be far popular with younger viewers. The only demographic in which NXT won, which has been like the running theme of this, is in viewers over 50 years old. But you know what? It's a good sign if you're on the NXT side of the fence. You know, it seems like a pretty solid week.
I think NXT basically won this week because their figures sucked less. That's essentially how they won this week.
It was a disappointing week for wrestling.
Yeah, it was just a bit of a quiet time in wrestling, but we'll see. You know, obviously tomorrow night we go all again.
Yeah, we do.
And,
we do.
You'll break it down. You'll break AEW down.
Yeah.
I'll break NXT down.
It'll all be great fun.
We'll break it down.
Degenerate. No. Calm down immediately.
Seth Rollins set to appear on WWE Backstage tonight, Jack.
Is he going to apologise there as well?
Oh, jeez.
No, dear me.
What do you reckon? So, what do you reckon, first of all, of the apology from Seth? This is still slow burn heel turn, isn't it?
I don't know why they need to do a slow burn heel turn, because I thought he turned heel last week.
I thought he turned heel last year.
I thought in kayfabe he turned heel last week. We asked the question on the podcast. It was our big question on last week's edition, and I remember not arguing, but kind of saying to like Pacitti and Ross and stuff, is this good for a big question? Has he not already turned heel? Turns out they were right, and no, not yet. I don't know. But I think he will end up turning heel, and maybe it'll be revealed that the AOP are his new J&J security.
New Shield. Mm-hmm. They got the gear and everything already.
They do.
But Rollins are going to be chatting on Backstage. I'm excited for this one because quite a few people on that Backstage panel have been vocally unimpressed with Seth Rollins.
Yes,
late,
particularly CM Punk.
Philip Brooks had lots to say about him. Obviously, Brooks isn't going to be there.
I know, it's devastating. He wasn't there when Triple H was on either. The people that he could have a good argument with, he's never on for.
But Paige is there.
Oh well.
Paige there. And Paige has been quite vocal about Seth Rollins.
Okay.
You know, very much channeling the spirit of Adam Pacitti. So I'm quite intrigued to see whether Seth and Paige have a bit of a tete-a-tete
potentially
between one another.
They might well do.
How do you feel about Backstage in general? Are you enjoying it?
Little bit, bits and pieces. I just enjoy hearing CM Punk talk. He's just so articulate and so charismatic that it's always a delight to see him talk on whatever he's on. But at the same time, it's not one of my most. I guess it's not priority viewing for me in my standard wrestling week. I'm not like, oh, Backstage is on, can't wait for that.
Yeah.
It's not Wednesday night, for God's sake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also this week, some bits about Backstage. Also this week, Stephen Amell is going to be on.
Okay.
Off of Arrow. He's doing promo school with Booker T.
Has he crossed the divide?
Yeah.
Oh.
And also there is rumors
Yes.
that as a result of a bit of back and forth on Twitter with Booker T, Macaulay Culkin could be on WWE Backstage, hopefully before Christmas, because you need Kevin McAllister from off of the Home Alone.
This is going to betray our age, I think, but myself and Ross are both big fans of Home Alone 3.
Oh,
I know.
What planet are you on?
It's a great one.
It's a great planet.
Three. No, 3. No, 3's a great film.
No.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
No, there's the chip in the remote control car. Oh, it's so good. There's Mrs. Hess, the woman who turns babyface towards the end. It's so good.
It's not Home Alone.
A young Scarlett Johansson's in it. She plays the older sister.
I mean, there is that.
She's not in for a lot of it.
Does she play Buzz's girlfriend? Whoa.
No. No, they're all children in this era, Tom. It's okay. You don't need to. It's fine.
No, that's well. Cool. Look, Macaulay Culkin is iconic in 1 and 2.
Of course, I can't deny that. But is he quite as good as the lad in Alex in Home Alone 3?
Yes!
Okay, yeah, probably is.
Comment below, yes, in big letters. And Finalamoth, A New Day, launched a podcast. If you watched it, you would have seen Big E launch into the podcast by singing, "If you like a lot of sports entertainment on your network, listen to our podcast." I enjoyed the bit where Kofi Kingston was talking about his night out at Rise, and Xavier Woods talking about his favourite purchases from Home Bargains that week.
So you've made Big E Matthew You've made me Kofi, which is fine. Kofi's my favourite member of the New Day, and you've made Ross Xavier Woods. Yeah, fair enough.
That's how I plan it out in my head. That's quite good. Distinct lack of a mailbag or a question of the week or pieces. So 3 on 5. But some interesting developments came from that regarding the birth of the New Day.
Yes, we have actually got quite a nice little summary of this on Cultaholic.com, which you can check out online. And a big shout out to Aidan, new Aidan, who wrote it. Fair play to you, Aidan, for that. Fair play.
Fair play, Aidan, for doing your job.
I meant thank you for doing that.
Cheers,
So, yes, the New Day talked about basically the beginnings of the New Day and how it all came together and the changes it made and the changes they made in becoming the New Day, because originally they were referred to amongst themselves as the Plan, which was to stand for the People's Liberation of American Nationalism. Woods said it was me, Big E, Byron Saxton, and Abraham Washington. The New Day is kind of an evolved thought of that. So this was kind of like a prototype version of the New Day. He says it was essentially people who were not happy with their position in the company and wanted more from themselves and from their job. And that's when I went and talked to E about it, and we shot a bunch of different things, and that's when it really hit me that none of it was clicking. None of this is really working, and I think we needed a third person for this to actually work. And he was like, who? And I was like, I think we need to go to Kofi Kingston. And the rest is history.
Oh, exactly. How do you reckon that Byron Saxton...
I'm out of breath after that.
Byron
dramatic reading.
You did, mate. You were great.
Thank you. Cheers,
like
man.
Woods was in the room.
Thank you.
How do you think Byron Saxton and Abraham Washington felt?
I know.
All right, lads, I'm going for a planning meeting. Hey, Kofi's here. This is great. So what are we all doing? Oh, lads.
Yeah.
Oh. They talk a lot on this podcast, and it's a really, really fun podcast. It's definitely worth a listen / a watch, because we watch people talk these days. Oh, sorry, there he goes. And during this podcast, they talk about their frustrations that they're labelled the New Nation.
What is going on upstairs? Yes.
So there's a big fight upstairs. It's Christmas bonus time. But there's they talk about getting labelled as the New Nation,
right?
And how frustrated they get with it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Go see for yourselves. Go check out the podcast when you've got time. But obviously, once you've watched literally everything on our channel first.
Yeah, of course. But no, I found it quite a nice. I'm looking forward to their next podcast because I found it quite a nice little peek through the window.
Yeah, a little peek through your window, and that's enough of us peeking through your window. Have a great Tuesday. We're going to go and see what that fight's about up there. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. You can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Cultaholic. Lastly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.